Well, good Thirsty Thursday, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. Hope that all your Thirsty Thursday dreams come true. We'll be live streaming tonight's game. We have the Colts that have been, wow, a dumpster fire where literally Pat McAfee is like, I'm sick of this team. I'm sick of this team. Jim Irsay has literally made the wrong moves with this team and organization. And then you have the Denver Broncos, who have Russell Wilson but seem to not have any offense. But it's football. It's week 5 already. The season is literally flying by. And, I told people when we lost the first game against Tampa Bay, and so many people were like, man, this season's done, man. I'm sick of this. Jones is fire everybody. Get rid of everything. And all. I said, listen, man, just relax because whether we're winning or losing, it's still football. And even losing football is better than no football at all. And right now, we're playing with house money. Right now, with Cooper Rush doing his thing, with the defense being historic, we're talking about Doomsday 3, or is it 4? Okay, we're talking about a great defense. How about that? This defense is holding teams to 15.4 points a game, which is what we did in the 90s, winning Super Bowls. And you couldn't be any happier than that. And you start to look and start to think about Damone Clark getting out there. If he gives us any kind of a boost, you start thinking about Jaron Kurtz, who's back to practicing this week and should be actually back on the field. The rotations that we have at safety are amazing. And then, of course, I know some of you Dak Prescott haters out there will be the ones that say we're better off with Cooper Rush. But you know what? Right now, I ain't mad that we got Cooper Rush and Dak. As opposed to some of the teams out there that don't have a good quarterback to start, we got two guys that can win. So we are in a really good position right now. And right now, this was considered the toughest part of our schedule. So you start looking at this and saying, A, we're going to have these young guys get some experience and hopefully we'll get better as the season goes on. And B, we'll get to the easier part of our schedule, in which case that should help us. So the future should be bright. And at some point in the next couple of weeks, you'll get your quarterback back. Now, Jerry Jones has even changed his tune. You remember in the offseason, he was basically throwing Mike McCarthy under the bus and saying that, Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore could be coaches anywhere, and I want to bring him in there, and Mike McCarthy knows that he won't be coaching forever and things. He had this to say yesterday about Mike McCarthy. I don't know how you could say enough about how he's handled this initial starting out. It's like a pitcher to me, a pitcher. A boxer, a fighter walking out there just getting hit in the best shots you can absolutely take on the chin. Bang. First step out. How do you get that all back together? Give him his due. He has managed to right the ship, steady it, and progressively get this team in shape to play without Dak. That's a team-wide thing. Team-wide. I think he would be an injustice not to give him the kind of credit as head coach for getting this thing right and getting it to the point. What happened over the last 3 weeks with making up of our team, I think our personal and potential with this make of the team, these 3 games got us back in the hunt. That's nice, Jerry. Jerry, I love that. That's great because if you're gonna go ahead and critique them when they're doing things wrong, you got to give them credit when they win. You do. And so that brings me to the question of Jimmy Johnson. You've had a lot of coaches, Jerry, in your time with Dallas. Jimmy Johnson was the second coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We've gone through a lot of guys. And you have to, if you're giving Mike McCarthy credit for winning 3 games in a row without his quarterback, then you need to also give Jimmy Johnson credit for basically bringing you 3 Super Bowls. That third one, of course, was on cruise control. It was on cruise control. You got to give him credit, and take some of it too. You were the guy who bought a team that was losing $2 million a month, and you made it into the most valuable franchise in football. Can't nobody take that away from it. But you look at this and where we've been since Jimmy Johnson, you have to give credit to Jimmy Johnson. And this is the year that you need to put all this bad blood and all this bullshit and your ego aside and get him in the Ring of Honor. Just do. I think a lot of things have happened to the Cowboys are karma. Just do. But, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. Down here in the country, we've got some work to do this morning and then heading back home. We'll be live streaming tonight. It's a long night last night. For all you channel members out there, there's a video that I posted that's only to you guys that I need you guys to see. Okay? I need you guys to see it because it's very, very, very important. One, I have to thank all of the channel members. You guys are above and beyond great. When we get back tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, we'll be boxing up the Joe Bardys for the tailgate members and stuff, and I'm working on the stuff for the super fans, and I've got stuff in the works for those who've been a Mojo member for over a year. We're going to be doing some stuff. I've got actually ordered some equipment that we're going to be able to do some more really, really cool things, similar to what I have with the Inventables. And so this is where I want to thank you guys. But I could use a little bit of help. So if you watch that video, the link is in the description of that video of what I need you'll see. The link is in the description, and you'll understand once you watch the video. So now, I've got Eagle fans that are crowing that they are the bomb diggity. They're 4-0, the only undefeated team in the NFL. And you can't take that away from them. But I'm still not sure that they're as great as they think that they are. I will still say, in the course of the last year and a half, the best wins they have are Minnesota Vikings on Monday night and New Orleans Saints. That's it. But let's listen to Speak for Yourself this morning on who's had the more impressive start. The Cowboys winning 3 games with their backup quarterback, or the Eagles going 4-0.
One team is 4-0. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. Another team is 3-1. That's the Dallas Cowboys. But the 3-1 team has started a backup quarterback the last 3 games. Undefeated with the backup quarterback. Eagles undefeated with the starting quarterback. 2 incredibly impressive starts to the season, all things considered. Shady, you love the Eagles. You bled for the Eagles. The leading rusher for the Eagles, 15,000 yards. Who's had a more impressive start to the season? Is it the Cowboys at 3-1 with Cooper Rush? You're a guy, Cooper Rush. Good player. Or QB1. Is it the Eagles? It's obviously the Eagles. Are you serious? The Philadelphia Eagles, baby. When you watch the Eagles, we're electrifying. On offense, on defense. You talk about putting this team together. We know what it would look like. I was part of a team where we put together. They call it the Dream Team, right?
Oh.
You had Nnamdi Asomugha, you had Asante Samuels, DRC, you had myself, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, backups, Vince Young. We had an all-star team, right? And we wasn't no
you were losers.
undefeated team. 4-12, I believe. Come on, 4-12. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they're not that. They're a superstar team, and they're getting it done. 4-0. Now, that's very impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive, brother. And I'm looking at you.
Shady wants me to argue with him, but
right.
I agree. I agree.
You agree?
Yes, I do.
How and why?
I thought the Philadelphia Eagles would be a good team. I thought they would be in the mix. I thought they had a chance to get into the playoffs like they did last year, where they got dog walked. I thought that was kind of what we were talking about. They look like one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the league, and you can make the case that they are the best team in the NFC right now. Honestly, it's not even hard to make that case. I don't know that I saw this degree of success coming. And it's a long season. Like, there's going to be bumps in the road.
There will be.
I didn't see 4-0 coming. I didn't see Jalen Hurts looking like an NFL MVP candidate.
That's right.
He does.
Right.
I got to call it like I see
eyes
it.
work.
It's more impressive just because I don't know that I thought the Eagles could reach these types of heights. And that sounds kind of silly because it's only 4 games. But I expect this team to be in the mix among the top 2-3 teams in the NFC based on what we've seen so far.
Joy, talk to me. More impressive. I don't know what just happened to my pen.
Dave, that meant a lot, Dave.
That's live TV.
That meant a lot.
Did it for you, Shay.
That meant a lot.
More impressive, Cowboys or Eagles?
The Eagles, undefeated, never lost.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give more credit to overachieving than I am to actually achieving.
Okay.
The Eagles are 4-0.
That's a good line.
We have to acknowledge that they've had 4 games like everybody else, and they have won all of them. Are there other teams that have been impressive? Sure. Is what the Cowboys have done impressive without their starting quarterback? Sure. But the Eagles are the ones winning the games. So I have to give credit to them being undefeated at this point. We're looking for things and holes and worrying about all these different teams. We're looking for reasons that the Eagles will struggle with. Right, and they haven't done it yet.
Okay.
But Shady, you say hate. There's a difference in my mind between hate and analysis. Hate is when you see something and you
Okay, let's
just go
flip
jump
the
on
script.
the side. Analysis is trying to really be like, you know what? What are some of the potholes that might be in the ground? And you know Philadelphia got potholes. What are some of the potholes that might be in the ground that I can't even see? Let me ask you this. Are you more impressed by Jalen Hurts being undefeated? Or are you more impressed by undrafted 2017 quarterback Cooper Rush being undefeated? Let me change the question a little bit for you and talk about both your love.
Okay, I'll give a little love to the Cowboys. I got to go with Cooper Rush. I know Jalen.
Of course, because everybody hates Dak.
We see him have some success in college. We seen a couple games last year. He had some success in the NFL.
One game.
Some pretty good teams. I got to go with Cooper Rush because when Dak Prescott got hurt, everyone was, oh, my God, we got to get a quarterback. Let's call San Fran. Is Jimmy G available? No. And I was the guy that said, give him a shot, give him a chance. The same way you gave Dak a chance with Tony Romo, give Cooper Rush a chance. And he's doing everything with his chance.
Now, Dave, how are you not marveling over what Cooper Rush has done, even more so than what Jalen Hurts has done? If somebody were to tell you, America, you, Joy, you, Dave, that the Eagles would be undefeated, playing the Detroit Lions, who had the top pick last year, the Jacksonville Jags, who had another top pick last year,
man.
the Commanders with
it's the NFL, brother. It's
Wentz.
the NFL
It
now.
absolutely is.
Okay.
But I was a different player than you, and we both played in the NFL, so let's not act like everything's equal in the NFL. You significantly better than your boy. Or whoever else the Eagles played. Or looking
The
at
Vikings.
the Dallas Cowboys. Would you not... I truly don't know. Giants.
Forget them.
Back.
Forget them.
Would you not say, like, yo, you know what, Vikings? Would you not say, yo, you know what? What the Cowboys have done is actually just as, if not more impressive, given who they've done it with.
2 thoughts. One, and I can't let this go until we see something else.
We got
The Cowboys trotted out there in week 1 with the team that they wanted to field. Well, forget Cooper Rush for a second. They had Dak for 55 minutes. That was the team that they went into the season with, like, we got it. They got dog walked. They had the worst week 1 of the entire NFL. They looked like chumps. And I can't let that go completely from my mind, especially, again, when you consider 2 of these 3 wins are against the Giants and the Commanders. Come on now. And on top of that, and then I think your expectations change a little bit, right? Cooper Rush has been phenomenal. It's one of the stories of the season so far. Your expectations change, though, if the Cowboys were 20th in offense, 22nd in passing offense, scoring 20 to 23 points a game. If they were doing that with Dak Prescott, you're saying, ooh, why did they give Dak all this money? But since it's Cooper Rush, you're like, this is awesome.
This is
These
great.
guys
Yeah.
are great. So it's very impressive. It's not as impressive to me as undefeated top 3 offense in the league, top 3 efficiency and everything, first in the league in sacks. Like, the Eagles are just doing everything great right now. You can't argue with that.
Joy, get in on that one.
Why is it impressive that Dallas has beaten Washington, and it's not impressive that the Eagles have beaten Washington?
Talk to him, Joy. Talk to
It's
him.
not. For me, I'll say this. The most impressive win in the NFC thus far, in my mind, Cowboys beating the Bengals. That is the
Right.
most impressive win because the Bengals were coming off a Super Bowl.
The Bengals beat a Dolphins team without Tua and the Jets.
Right.
So far this season.
But the Bengals were coming.
Super Bowl effect.
You
though,
said
yes.
why? Coming off of a Super Bowl, coming off of a Week 1 loss.
To the Steelers.
So they're going to be hungrier. You know,
4 or 5 picks, something like that.
agreed. But that to me makes it harder to beat them because that week of practice was going
I'm
to
not
be
saying
terrible.
that it's listen, a win is a win, okay? And that's where we are at this point in the season. When we get further into the season and we can really see who's actually really in the playoff hunt and who's dealing with injuries that they're not going to be able to come back from and what's really going to start affecting the postseason, then we can probably examine that closer. But with 4 games in, this isn't SEC football. You have to play who's on your schedule. And that is a division win for the Cowboys. It is a division win for the Eagles. So how is it more important for the Cowboys than it is for the Eagles? And they beat them more convincingly.
To me, that's not what I'm saying. The Eagles beating the Commanders, the Cowboys beating the Commanders, same thing. What I'm saying is the Cowboys win over the Bengals is more impressive to me.
Yeah.
I look at the Cowboys. They did not have Michael Gallup. The Cowboys have not had Tyron Smith. The Cowboys do not have a left guard because that left guard got hurt. I look at the Eagles. Your Eagles, A.J. Brown, been out there. Devontae Smith, been out there. Miles Sanders, been out there. Dallas Goedert, been out there. Jason Kelsey, been out there. Mailata had been out there. Darius Slay had been out there. The Eagles had their roster fully loaded.
But the Eagles are also putting up great performances.
That's true.
We talk a lot
Very
about
true.
Cooper Rush, but his actual numbers are not that impressive. Now, the defense's numbers have been impressive. Again, what's impressive about Cooper Rush is that he's not making the mistakes that most backup quarterbacks
She knows her shit.
that put them behind, and then they have to win in spite of the backup quarterback. And he deserves credit for that. But the Eagles going out and winning these games, and in the fashion in which they are winning, is more impressive than, to Dave's point, a Dallas team who got wiped in Week 1, who still has that same roster and is doing this with a backup quarterback against the Giants and the Commanders.
Then Shady,
And
let's get to
Cincinnati.
the nitty-gritty. Let's get to the real nitty-gritty of it all. If the Cowboys were to play the Eagles this week, and by the way, they playing each other next week.
Right.
If the Cowboys were to play the Eagles this week, how much confidence do you have? I know you're a betting man. I ain't going to put your business on Front Street. But how much confidence do you have that your Eagles would just walk all over the Cowboys? Dave, I'm going to come to you next, so get your thoughts ready.
Walk over the Cowboys. I think we all will agree that the Eagles probably win that game, right?
Yeah.
Dallas guy says yes.
Yes, Dallas guy says yes.
So to answer your question, this is an easy one for me. Yes, I think we will dominate them. We've been dominating everybody. So I didn't want to.
You haven't been with the Cowboys.
When you watch football, I don't really look at like the teams, right? Because the NFL, we're all professionals, right? Now, granted, some teams are better than others, but it's how you beat on them, though. If you dominate them up front, which we've been doing, if you passing the ball well, which we've been doing, running the ball well, on defense getting sacks, turnovers, like that's dominating football. And that matters most.
I guess call me Nick Saban then, because maybe I'm just not
it's NFL.
No, I'm saying in the mindset of maybe I'm just not pleased with victory. Because I don't look at a 38-35 win over the Lions as domination.
You watched that game? You watched that game, right?
Yep.
They didn't get dominated.
The defense, we both got dominated.
We dominated them. We dominated them, and then they came back late in the game.
They did.
And in football, the hardest thing in football, we all know this, is we have a big lead to maintain it. Because now the playbook is gone. Now it's like, okay, let's run the ball.
And the Lions have been putting up those numbers against offensive numbers against everyone.
Correct.
Come on now.
But you can't say it's domination if somebody puts up 35 on you. That's what I'm getting to.
You have to account for garbage time numbers.
Oh, wow. So when the Cowboys beat Washington like 55-14, it was like, oh, okay. You didn't dominate. It was just a bad team. You let a bad team score 35, and it's garbage time.
And you play, and most teams, when you're up by a big league, what do? You play soft.
Of course, you play soft. I'll give you that.
Soft, vanilla running plays, run the clock, defense, no mistakes, don't let nobody beat you deep. You know these things.
But then they beat the Vikings 24-7.
That was domination.
Okay,
that was domination.
Washington 24-8, and we know what happened in the Jacksonville game as well. Despite
29-21.
29-21. Yeah.
They haven't really been.
Whose fault is that?
No, nobody.
Oh,
Okay.
I appreciate Shady over here. I was like, yes, I think Dallas would lose that game, and he's like, they would dominate. I'm like, I didn't go as far as dominate.
Yeah,
That's hard.
and I don't need
That's
them.
hard.
We're not on the same page.
Wait. Let me pause.
Okay, pause.
Eagles haven't had to sweat a game yet.
Yeah.
I believe Joy gave us a stat yesterday that since Cooper Rush has come in,
Yes, she did.
they have only been trailing by 5.5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
What, 3 points?
They trailed for 11 minutes in the last 3 games total.
11 minutes in the last 3 games.
Total.
So Cooper Rush and the Cowboys haven't had to sweat yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's because of the defense.
Sure, I'm not saying who or what it's not because
Okay, all right. So, anyway, that's what we have for this morning. It's time for me to go to work. And members, don't forget to check out that video. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies, and I'll see you soon.